Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, many people as you want. So their 2 import players are from China.
Yeah, and that would fit in rules for international play too, as they would only have 2 imports on their team. As the region as a whole, we would have 3. So, as you guys can see, we're getting ourselves into pick and ban for Game 1 between Mega and Win. Mega going to have first pick priority as they will be starting on blue side. And first ban coming right out the gate, it's going to be the Elise targeted toward Libero.
And not really a big ban. It's quite a staple ban, you
Yeah.
know.
Maybe they're watching the stream. They're like, man, what if Rocky's like on the same level as Shine, which he can be.
Yeah, Rocky is a very solid top lane player. He's in play World Championship, but I think a lot of my focus, as much as the match I was looking towards bottom side, is going to be G4. I think G4 is still a huge threat. We've seen what he can do in World Championship. I mean, don't even factor in World Championship. Look what he's done in the past wildcard qualifiers, when there were still wildcard qualifiers. Man is a monster. Played for the Bangkok Titans, absolute machine. Long time pairing with Lloyd. And the bottom lane is a new duo here. Pop has played in the C Tour before. I mean, notoriously, they came into the C Tour without a substitute last split.
Yeah.
And Pop was rushed to the emergency room in the morning, and he checked himself out to play in the grand final so that Mega didn't get disqualified.
And he had something insane, like a 60 KDA during the group stage.
Insane.
Was insane, especially known for his thresh from the teams.
It was very funny, though, because he came in, he wasn't feeling well in the day. I mean, he just went to the bloody emergency room in the morning.
It's bad enough you want to go see a doctor.
So they put him on Braum duty for the entire finals, and he still did fine.
Yeah, he did insane. As you guys can see, though, we're going to run through our bans. Yumi and Nico banned out by Mega, along with that, at least we mentioned earlier. And the Karma and Kiana, which has kind of become almost a staple of red side bans so far in our night. And Jarvan being picked up immediately here for Lloyd on the side of Mega. But for Shadow, likely seeing the Aatrox come out in the top lane. Sits at 100% win rate overall so far in 3 games.
I'm really excited to see what this duo coming in from the LDL can do. Because, it's both Shadow as well as Libero. The League Development League in China is the league that's just below the LPL. They have some really, really strong players being imported into Win. Very curious to see how that's going to affect the roster. This is the roster that took down the Giants of Resurgence, a professional esports organization in Singapore, who are favorites to requalify into the tournament. Besides Empire Access getting their guaranteed spot, Win took them down.
And you're actually going to be starting them off here the first time we see them in the summer season. It's going to be the Ezreal getting picked up. So has a bit of skill expression available to him to start things off here. And going up against Mega, this is going to be pretty much a clash of possibly our 2 favorite teams going into playoffs if both are able to qualify. Sivir, though, going to be picked up here for Duel for his first showing. And then G4 going to be showing us his Azir here, as that's locked in before bans phase 2.
Emperor of Shurima has been locked in here for Mega's mid laner. Duel picking up the very staple Sivir pick, which I expected to see more of coming into this, but hasn't been played too much. Lloyd going for a very staple job. He's played it before, and we get Lee Sin being locked in for Libero.
This is an extremely aggressive comp coming out from Win.
Look at the duo coming in from the LDL, picking up Aatrox and Lee Sin in their first match, and they're up against Mega, who are favorites in the tournament. I would have to say that Win's definitely, I don't know, would they be considered a dark horse team?
I feel like,
I still feel like Empire Axis is your dark horse team, Mega are your favorites, then what's Win?
I feel like they're kind of that, I wouldn't say they're that new kid on the block when it comes to this.
I've got an unorthodox analogy for this.
All right.
What's the name of the prince in the Shrek movies? The
Prince Charming.
Yeah, I think they're Prince Charming. Like, they've got everything polished. They've got this shiny armor. They're trotting around. I feel like that's Win. They've picked up 2 new shiny players. Very staple players of RH and Nakame, and then What the Jest, the wildcard player coming in from Thailand. I feel like they're like Prince Charming, like just rocking in. Everyone's doing their battle on the seat, like, what's up, guys? I'm here. This is my league now.
Not to see. It depends on which Shrek you're also talking about. If it's Shrek 2, he wasn't that great. He does, change his character.
How dare you insult Shrek in any way whatsoever?
Excuse me.
Don't you? No.
I didn't.
Nah.
I didn't. I said.
Opal hates Shrek. You heard it on live stream. Opal hates Shrek. How dare
Mesh,
you?
How dare you put words into my mouth?
No, you hate Shrek.
It is a cinematic masterpiece, that second movie.
Wow,
How have
okay,
you know?
Okay,
But
backpedaling,
back
backpedaling.
into the game. It's going to be the Thresh and Mordekaiser banned out by the side of Win, and Braum and Tom Kench getting blocked out here by the side of Mega themselves, and Nautilus being the next one on that tier list, you could say, as the Yuumi was also banned earlier on.
Yeah, heavy support bans with the Thresh, Braum, and Tom Kench being taken away. Yuumi very early bans. A lot's being targeted at what the Jess. I wonder if this is a tactic of Mega being like, let's single out the one player that probably has a bit of a communication barrier with Win, take away some of his comfort picks, put him on something different. But Nautilus is a staple meta pick, so he's going to be perfectly fine.
Responding with that, though, it's going to be the Alistar getting locked in for pops. So some big engage potential coming out from the support. And to round out their composition, what does Mega want to do here? Likely looking at a pick now for Rocky up in that top lane. What does he want to take here into the Aatrox? Suffering the Camille. So it's going to get locked in.
Needed Tycasters next door getting very excited by Rocky's pick.
They're like, oh boy, let's go. Here on this.
This is an interesting one because you've got Java Camille against Aatrox Lee Sin. I could give it to Win the 2-on-2 here. Camille is very interesting with their composition, though. Can lock down a single player. Someone like Kagame on his Ezreal, for example. If he gets caught out by Camille, then you've got the Emperor soldiers, the Alistar, Sivir to speed everyone, and Jarvan all piling on in. But that's a Vladimir pick, so that could potentially be Shadow's
flex.
pick in the top lane with Arhedge picking up Aatrox in the mid lane. We'll find out in a second.
We'll see here. They got until about 20 to actually swap.
Change it!
Change it! Where are they going? We must know. Mega were able to switch. We'll see what Win want to do here.
Oh,
All right,
so
now
should be
they're
a top
shuffling
lane Vladimir.
Oh, okay. So we're going to see the Aatrox in mid lane then coming out for Hedge.
Yeah, Arhedge going to pick that one up. So that's a bit different. I think that now the 2v2 definitely goes in Mega's favor.
Yeah.
Vladimir not strong at all in the early game, but Arhedge going with the Aatrox up against the Emperor. Very bruiser heavy for Arhedge, and against the control mage of Azir, he should have the upper hand in the laning phase.
Yeah, it'll be up to G4 if he's able to respond well here into the Aatrox. As you guys can hear, though, we're going to go ahead and load on into Rip for game one. And for Mega here, their first showing after what was considered a bit of a disappointing midseason invitational.
And it's a disappointing mid-season invitational for Mega, but they had a very dominant LST, not dropping a single game throughout the entire League of Legends spring split. This is an interesting match to come back to, because if you're coming back into the LST, you're expecting one of two things. One, a team that you can comfortably beat if you're Mega, as the previous champions, you come back and you're like, yeah, if we're going up against a team we can comfortably beat, so, a simple matchup for us. Or a team that you think might be difficult, someone like Win, who were the finalists, Axis, who were the finalists last split. But Win's like this very weird matchup for Mega to go straight into. Because this team is strong, winning out in the SAM qualifiers, beating teams like Resurgence. So you have to give them credit for being a very strong team. But you don't know much about them. I mean, you would have played against Arhedge and Kagame before. As a Thai squad, you probably know what the Jess is. But then two players coming in from the LDL. That is a big wildcard factor. And if you're Mega, it might be a little bit of an uncomfortable first match back into the C-Tour.
Yeah, because especially like LDL itself is you're the secondary league to the LPL, and especially here in China, it is such an established league. Like, in comparison, there are some leagues that wish they had the following of the LDL because of how massive and how competitive it can be.
And the players in the LDL are no joke. So many stars have risen from the LDL, and it's a very competitive league. A lot of players making full-time salaries just playing there as well, getting ready and prepping for the LPL. Oh, look at that. Rocky already knows exactly what to do in this matchup, already ready to abuse Shadow very early on.
Yeah, because it's just the sheer volume of players that are in the region itself.
But
like
Sorry, continue.
You can just take a look at the numbers itself. You look at what's the equivalent of the scouting grounds here in China, and you have literally thousands of AD carries compared to the 5 or 6 you would see in North America. So there's a lot more options. And like you mentioned, a lot of these players, you know, maybe Shadow and Libero here aren't finding those opportunities to move up into the LPL, so they want to have their shot internationally here in C-Tour.
But at the same time, you're looking at the roster coming in for Mega, and the top side of the map are veteran players. Lloyd and G4 have been around forever. Oh my god, these players have been playing for a lifetime, Hopeful. And then they've played against international players. Rocky has had, you know, statement games for himself on the international stage. He's going to be very comfortable no matter who he's going up against. So, you know, it's not like you have two LDL players coming into the bottom lane. Now, Duel and Pop synergy is going to be put into question as the newest player duel coming into the roster. But they're going to be completely fine. Very experienced veteran roster. Shadow's done well for himself, though, here. He's been able to sustain through, only popping that single potion, whereas 2 corrupting pots, and now 3, have already been used by Rocky in the top lane to go aggressive against him very early on.
Oh, look at this mid lane, though. Hedge is able to actually interrupt the dash from G4 and gets that Azir down to half health. That will force actually the back here.
That's a feels-good play coming out from our Hedge. Yes, he's got the matchup in his back pocket, being the bruiser of Aatrox, but our Hedge is no pushover himself. A veteran player, he's played for Kuala Lumpur Hunters back when they were a competitive team. He's been playing for a long time in Southeast Asian League of Legends. He would have played against G4 multiple times himself. And to be able to push out one of the most well-known mid laners in the LST very early on, that would feel good. You get a bit of a confidence booster knowing that you're muscling through a matchup that's going in favor of yours.
So nicely done there. We also saw some deep vision already being established there by the Lee Sin here on Win. Cleared out the jungle rather quickly and was trying to seek out Lloyd in his jungle. Maybe try and say, you know, a bit of a how do you do side. So gets that quick ward down, trying to track where this Jarvan might strike first. As Lloyd himself will actually get a control ward down behind the brush here in mid lane.
And we get to check in with bottom lane as well here, Opal, where it's just Sivir doing Sivir things, pushing in Kagame as well as What the Jess underneath this turret, making it very difficult for Ezreal to farm. I like the Alistar pick as well. It means that if What the Jess ever tries to initiate pop, it's just going to pop the ground, and up you go, Nautilus. See you later. Have a good day. They pick up a nice sizable CS lead for themselves. 15 CS up. Whew, well done.
Yeah, unfortunately for Kagame. Maybe wants that sheen being finished off there, just to have a little bit extra on the autos to finish off some minions. Nautilus also not necessarily the best helping when you're trying to clear minions underneath your tower. And still a pretty quiet start here in our first game, but G4 wants to start that immediately. Emperor's Divide is going to shove back Hedge, and that does force the flash out. Lloyd has to be careful to turn around underneath the tower, and Hedge turns it around in the 1v2.
Unfreaking believable coming out from our Hedge. The confidence on this man to say, you know what, I've got him. Lloyd slides in and says, no, you don't. Here's an Ignite. Come back to me. You're going down.
And man, I mentioned it felt like this game was getting a little slow, but Libero gets punted back into the brush. But with that win, they are able to strike first after a response there to Lloyd, who really wanted to make that play happen.
And speaking of confidence, if that's not going to give our Hedge confidence, I don't know what will. That was big. I actually don't quite understand Lloyd pushing for that gank there, because G4 did go in early. He did get the knockback with the Emperor's Divide. It was a good setup, but Jarvan wasn't close enough to follow up immediately. So all he was going to get at most was burning the flash, unless our Hedge wasn't reacting to it. Arhedge is a good player, is always going to be able to react to the flag and drag nicely. So I felt like he shouldn't have engaged. I felt like he should have just backed off and be like, yep, he got away.
And additionally, too, there, because of the predictability when it comes to the movement of the flag drag combo, if you're able to flash and get that Q primed and ready right where that Jarvan's going to land, it's a very easy combo for that Aatrox to land, to get the chains to pull him back. And luckily, too, he was just underneath tower range. So good start here by Win. Only a 200 gold lead, though, as the CS in bot lane makes up the difference. But Rocky wants to make his opportunity here in mid lane show. And unfortunately for Hedge, no resurrections this time, as Rocky is going to take him down. So a nice roam coming out from the top.
Yeah, Camille not as potent as she used to be as a jungler, so been pushed into the top lane a lot more. But Rocky still understanding that the kit has a lot of pick potential, utilizing his shove he had against Shadow in the top lane to push into the mid lane. Does well, capitalizes on the aggression coming out from Arhedge. Good return kill coming out from Mega, sticking to their guns, making sure it doesn't snowball out of control. Let's
see Libero trying to go for a quick steal, but Lloyd is going to be able to secure the buff. So Lee Sin applying pressure, but not getting anything for it. And with some actual deep vision coming out here from Mega, as I believe Lloyd and Rocky both put down some wards as they headed over toward that top side of the map and mid lane. That's actually going to track this Lee Sin and make it so he's going to be a bit predictable when he comes into the lanes.
Taking stock of this bottom lane here, though, Opal, Duel just gets his first turret plating, and look at that, 86 CS to 56. That's a 30 CS lead that Duel has picked up over Kagame. Yes, I understand this lane is meant to go in favor of Sivir and Alistar, but that is a drastic lead to have this early on.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit of pressure, just some presence possibly from that Lee Sin to maybe force them back off. But like you mentioned in our previous series, the Ricochet on Sivir, it's just Sivir doing Sivir things at this point.
Top lane, though, you have Lee Sin posturing for a gank against Camille.
Rocky's hard to catch, though, especially with that slingshot, so they're going to have to wait for that to go off cooldown. As Bach continues, and Kagame, he's taking boomerangs to the face here. He's got to be careful. I'll force him to back.
He's going back to base. He's got no teleport to come back into lane as well.
And that was True Shot Barrage already used there, so not going to be able to apply much damage to the minions. So that's going to be a full minion wave crashing in onto the turret, and without the turret plating being taken just yet, they had 4 available, so that should be another, 160, 200 gold going on to the Sivir. Shadow's got to be a bit careful. Does have the Lee Sin nearby. The Hemoplague is popped. They're going to use, of course, the Camille ultimate to try and do, and Rocky gets kicked out. Dive is still there, but they're just able to finish the kill. And Libero is going to be able to pick up the assist as Shadow takes the kill.
Very nicely turret juggled there by the LDL duo. Able to take down and dive Rocky in the top lane. Sets up quite well. Mega looking to try and respond with a dive into the bottom lane, but with the rest of Win backing off away from here, they're going to settle for taking first brick instead.
So in response to that dive up top lane, they will, like you mentioned, get pretty close to taking this tower. Not able to completely finish it here, but the next minion wave push should be able to secure that unless Win try and hard keep this wave from pushing over. Unfortunately, though, True Shot Barrage will not be available, and with that spell shield, it should be first brick going down to the bot lane.
Correct response coming out from Win as well. Libero's Libero no way he can get down towards the bottom side of the map. He's already got a kill towards the top lane. Settles for picking up Rift Herald instead. We'll be able to use that to either chunk out some turret planes or potentially push for an important turret later on. We'll keep track of him and see where he decides to use that Rift Herald. If he even gets it, there's a collapse that's coming in towards that Rift Herald pit.
Rift Herald was secured here. Libero going to go down, and G4 is going to pick up the kill.
He got the Herald, though.
Herald.
Took him a little bit of a long time to secure that.
Yeah. Bit of weird, but...
Thinking emoji.
G4. Just picking up the loons there, too, so a little bit of spike in damage just off the poke. And, yeah, take a look at that gold. Both of your carries for the side of Mega currently sitting at the top of that chart.
Yeah, G4 even has a 400 gold lead over Arhedge at the moment, so it seems like that early aggression Arhedge went going his way. It's been tapered off, and Duel with a massive lead on the Sivir, already with the Infinity Edge. That's going to be difficult for Win to deal with. Things might have been looking good on the top side of the map. Shadow is going to be able to scale very well into the late game, but Sivir's coming online a lot earlier than expected.
On top of that, too, you're going to have the Azir soldiers piercing through the back line during these later game fights. You get a quick engage from Lloyd, bring down the Cataclysm, too. There's a decent amount of disengage from Pop to keep everybody safe. It looks like a very good late-game team fight for Mega. If they get caught out here like this, though, it can cost them. Win. Going to show. It's just what the Jez coming by. Now you're going to also see the Lee Sin. So I know it's warded, and that's going to force the back out from Shadow. Picking up a needlessly large rod as Shadow was actually not able to finish off the... Decided to actually not finish the Proto Belt and decided just to get the flat AP instead.
This game is definitely going in Mega's favor, though. They've got the gold lead, they've got the turret advantage, and they've picked up the first dragon of the game, being the Ocean. Nice dragon to have in the early game, especially. Now they can just continue their focus topside of map, do something similar to what Caitlyn Morgana does. Try and take down these these outer turrets first. G4 has stabilized mid lane. He's got enough wave clear to deal with the wave before Arhesh can effectively use his bruiser potential to knock him out of this lane. And just keep looking top side of the map. Eventually, there's going to be an opening. They can try and take it against the top lane. I think Win have an opportunity, though, to try and disrupt the flow of the match. Use that Rift Herald either in the mid lane or top lane. Try and see if they can force some damage into the turret or catch Mega rotating to make a play themselves and take a turret back for themselves.
We'll see. We do have the Lee Sin positioning toward the bot side of the map, just finished off the Scuttle and already making his way down to the Tri-Bush, as you can see on the mini-map. True Shot Barrage comes out, but again, there was that nerf a little while ago that makes it not as effective as it once was against the minions, only doing half damage. But like you mentioned, Rift Herald popped here by the Lee Sin. Libero comes down to bot lane. They're going to get themselves some good turret plating to go on to Shadow.
Very nice coming out for Win. They found the opportunity to drop the Rift Herald to pick up a full turret as well as all of its turrets plating. It goes over to Shadow as well, who is one of the late game scaling carries. Is the only late game scaling carry that Win have picked up in this composition. So going to help them out, but effectively managed by Mega. They decide to send Lloyd towards the top lane to take down that top lane out of turret, but this might be two.
Honestly, it looks like Mega have decided to commit toward the top side. Shadow's just tanking the tower. Maybe a little too much there as Hemoplague is going to come out. Rocky is able to trade back a decent amount, but beautiful combo comes out. But here comes G4. Emperor's Divide is available. Lethal Tempo is there. Libero, though, turns it around. Double kill. And Shelly even gets a quick little run at the inhibitor tower.
You've got to be kidding. That's a big power play coming out from Win. They get mid lane outer turret as well, equalizing the gold and now opening up the map as well.
Small little mistakes there coming out from Mega, forcing, they had 3 members up toward the top side and they decided, hey, we really wanted this first tier tower.
I think this is just an overreaction coming out from Rocky. You saw Shadow take too many turret shots and so I'm going to go for this, but that was the wrong play. He had G4 rotating over. Just wait. Be patient. You're going to lose that turret anyway. Very good pushing coming out for Win. Capitalizing on the fact they knew they could push through bottom lane. They knew Rocky's not enough to go into the 2-on-1. And they were happy to trade a turret for a turret. They got 2 for 1. And you can see that gold difference has just been pulled back by Win from that big play. They did exactly what we said we needed to do. Use that Rift Herald to disrupt the controlled game plan that Mega had of pushing down outer turrets, especially starting with the top side of the map, and they did it incredibly well, Opal.
And for Win 2, picking up that mid lane first tier tower allows them to get a little bit more presence when it comes into that jungle, especially toward the bot lane now. Most of that dragon control is just naturally theirs because there's no bot lane towers. Those should be able to put down the line of wards, and for the next 5 minutes with no Baron available to be taken, Win should just have natural objective control.
I mean, Spellbind has already been picked up here by Shadow, so lots of bursts going to be coming out from Vladimir already. 1.5 items complete. He'll be looking to try and pick up even more. What you doing up here, G4? Come on, slide your shoulders in.
Hedge needs to be maybe a little bit careful here. Mega is possibly looking for a dive without the resurrection being available. Here's Pop with a flank. We've seen this one before. Pop's ultimate is going to force at least a teleport to come out. Hedge really wants to get onto G4, ends up missing both of the knockups, but does interfere with the slide. Here comes Shadow over toward the side. Libero super low. Lloyd goes into the back line, has the stopwatch available. Hedge is going to get taken on down. The Ezreal is there. Hemoplague is ticking as Shadow's able to knock a decent amount of damage back, and Rocky dives into the backside, but it is not enough. And for Mega, this is looking like a very, very messy fight. G4 is now stuck as he's trying to run for the hills, but he's going to be interfered here with Shadow over toward the side. The flash comes out. Here comes Pop, though, with a possible re-engage, deciding to back off. And it's a 2 for 2.
Very messy fight as well. G4 was able to get the solo kill onto Arhesh to start that one off, which was nice coming out from Mega, but Mega tried to force the fight against Win, and Shadow was able to just clean house during that team fight itself. They're happy to sacrifice a member or two to continue with those fights. Looked like it could go either way, but without G4 there for the consistent damage and Duel not being able to get into position to distribute damage on Sivir, wasn't going the way that Mega would have wanted. They do get the upper hand, though, by being able to take an objective off the back of that, which is breaking mid lane out of turret, taking us once again to an even game.
Yeah, unfortunately there for our Edge. Was not able to get the knock-up on the Aatrox Qs. Maybe if those had land, maybe was able to take the kill there onto G4. Really committed hard. But like we mentioned earlier, with the turrets being down and the vision already being there, this should be an easy Cloud Drake for Win to take off the back. So a Dragon for a turret. They already had the mid lane, so they lose a little bit of pressure, but not the end of the world here, as it's still a dead even game.
Just a Cloud Dragon as well. Good, gives you some, extra movement speed and stuff. That's nice to have, but it's not as impactful as, say, something like an Infernal Dragon trading for a turret. That's something you could realistically say is a good trade. Next one coming up is going to be an Ocean as well, so they can't even stack their clouds.
Damn, Shadow's really doubling down here on the early burst. If he's picked up another needlessly large rod, likely going into Rabadon.
Oh, if Shadow gets to 3 items with the first 2 he's already picked up here, that's it. Shadow is going to be able to burst through the backline of Mega, and Mega don't have any huge tanky targets besides Alistar.
Oh, deal. Has to be a little bit careful here. Rotation comes out from Win. Does spot it out a little early, so gets himself back to safety into the blue side jungle. Can see Win, though. Kind of going for more of this messy roam play with the Nautilus and the Vladimir being stacked, usually with the jungle. Just trying to find picks, trying to find members of Mega being caught out, because at the moment they're not pressuring any of these side lanes too heavily. It's just G4 up toward the top lane, and Hedge might be going for a 1v1 here.
He's got Lee Sin behind him.
Got Lee Sin coming up behind him. There's going to be J4 as well. G4 pops the passive and is going to have a turret to help protect him. So with that, provides the safety necessary.
Very smart play coming out from G4 with the lethal tempo, with 3 soldiers alive in the turret. There's no realistic way for Libero as well as Arhesh to dive that. Turret was not going to die.
He's got him in his sights.
He's got his eye on him. No realistic way for our Hedge as well as Libero to fight that one without taking too much damage and potentially falling. Lots of Mega members were rotating over as well. So G4 getting caught out, pushing a little bit too far, but makes the most of the situation, able to disengage effectively. Cancel it.
Whoop. Yeah, cancels it here. Nothing really...
Again. Oh, it's going to cancel it again.
He's going to cancel it. Shadow. It's actually a little awkward timing. You're going to have a Baron coming up here in a couple seconds.
But look at the CS. Shadow is 40 CS up over Rocky.
Look at the CS in bot lane, though.
Flame Horizon coming out from Duel is great. He's picked up his Essence Reaper towards the Infinity Edge. That's big. If he gets 1 Zeal item, Duel is going to crit through the entire team of Win. And Win, just like Mega, don't have a real tank besides a support Nautilus, who's not going to get the farm allocation or to pick up those massive tanky items. So crit ricochets coming in from Duel are going to deal so much damage to the squishy team of Win.
So for Win now, you're really... Oh, no, Hedge. He's caught out. Emperor's Divide is going to shuffle him on back. Ends up using the ultimate, but he's going to get locked down by Rocky. And some quick wards coming out. Catch out Harsh.
Don't back in that bush. Where do you go if you get caught? Going up, going down, everything's bad. Just walk the extra 6 damn seconds towards your turret and go back to base there. It's quite disappointing to see so many players in the LST get caught out in that exact position. Don't be lazy.
Look at that. Mega with a rotation too. Go into mid lane here. True Shot Barrage is going to come out. G4 does get clipped by it. Minions are going to get cleared out, so unfortunately they're not going to be able to push much longer. But a quick pick is able to help them get a little bit of chip damage here into the mid lane. I'm interested now for the next team fight, though. Shadow really just wants to get that final bit of gold to complete the Rabadons, because look what he has. He has that Spellbreaker fully ready and armed to go.
Yeah, next team fight, if Shadow can find a big flank, it's going to be devastating, especially since the fact he's level 14, by the way.
Yeah.
Rocky's level 12, behind in CS. He's been trying to pick as many people off as possible and died 3 times. If Shadow gets a flank, especially when he hits level 16 and has 3 items, which on his current trajectory, he will get to level 16 and have 3 items. That's it. It's game over.
Yeah, because he's been sitting on the components for Proto Belt for pretty much the entirety after 10 minutes of the game so far. So that'll just be a little extra amount of gold after he's finished off the Rabadons. See, though, Mega just looking to clear out vision toward the top side of the map. And I've seen that brush before, our Edge. It's scary. What? Our Edge! He ends up just going over the wall, able to flash away. Cataclysm is there, over toward the side. Rocky wants to jump in. Teleport's coming in. Shadow is armed and ready. They're in a choke point, but he doesn't pop the ultimate. There it is, jumping in, gets the pool on down, and the damage is going to rip apart Mega in the backside, but G4 still alive. Rocky wants to go for a re-engage. There's going to be a knockback, and a huge Emperor's Divide. Pop is there, but he's only an Atlas Star, and G4, last member standing, can't do enough. It's the ace for win.
Crazy fight, and Shadow gets exactly what we said he would get. The big teleport flank, the 100-stack Spellbinder with the Rabadon's Death Cap completed as well. 5-0-5. You can look into the eyes of Duel during that entire skirmish, and the entire time just going, oh boy, it's a vampire right next to me, and there's absolutely nothing he could do about that. Big engage coming out from Win. RH got caught out, but it actually helps Win.
And on top of that, too, because they just did Baron, they were using spells to clear it out, he's got a fully stacked Spellbinder once again for the next fight.
And he's going to have his completed third item as well.
That'll be a proto. He might even go just for the Void Staff right away.
I mean, G4 was dealing a lot of damage during that fight. The problem is Mega's composition relies heavily on both Duel as well as G4 getting their damage off. You saw how close G4 would have been to killing the final three members if either Pop had some hit points to get the pulverized combo off, then it would have been enough crowd control for the soldiers to deal enough damage, or if Duel was alive for more of that fight and could get damage down that fight, then you have two consistent damage dealers hitting multiple targets from the side of Win.
Lloyd?
That could have potentially taken it.
Again, getting caught out there, gets the flag drag to override the priority of the hook, so it's a little bit of a lucky interaction there and gets him back to safety.
You can see immediately Duel's like, I need a rapid fire cannon.
Honestly, if I'm Duel right now, I'm like, guys, I'm 110 CS up at 24 minutes. Let's take another look here, as it looked like our Edge actually was the one that got caught out.
He was. He got caught out over this wall, but that teleport was it. Mega needed to back off here. Duel cannot be this far up when there is a Vladimir ready to do exactly this. Once Duel got hit by the Hemoplague, he could not block any of this damage. Duel needs to be in a similar position as to where Rocky is right now. After the initial initiation comes out from Shadow, then come in, then hit people with the ricochets, then start to deal your damage, the same what G4 did in this match. But again, big teleport flank coming out from Vladimir. When you land those, it's going to be a guaranteed one team fight for Win.
And now with Baron buff available, Pop gets a quick knock-up. Hedge a little too far forward. He gets caught out, and it's Pop coming in with a clutch pick here.
Hedge trolling?
Shadow and Libero are there, but they're going to go ahead and back. Yeah, that was...
Hedge trolling.
That's a little bit.
He's been caught out quite a few times now, Mr. Hedge.
Just a little bit now.
Shadow now going to try and flex his muscle. He got 3 items with Proto Belt. He's got a stopwatch.
Sork boots, too.
Oh, it's a big, big Vladimir.
Actually, he's going...
Void, what are you doing?
Lloyd? Oh, no, Lloyd. Shadow's there, too. Jungle down. Baron's still up here for their Baron buff, so they won't be able to pick anything else up. But look at Rocky in the bot lane.
Rocky's still level 13. Shadow has hit his spike. He's level 16. How do you deal with him anymore? There's not even any sort of healing reduction besides Pop's Ignite.
Oh, and here comes the engage Spellbinder already used, and poor Duel just gets popped, similar to the cow.
Welcome to the Sea Tour, Duel. I hope you're enjoying your stay thus far. 100 CS up, but you can't even hit a single auto attack.
And Fish, we're now looking at Mega possibly losing an inhibitor here at 26.5 minutes. Reminder, this was the team that was pretty much flawless in spring.
Yeah, think about exactly that. The team that didn't drop a single game during the LST spring split.
We're not talking matches, games alone.
Yeah, not a single game being dropped by Mega during spring split. Win come in and do exactly that. They're starting to win.
Baron power play is going to be an extra 3,200 gold across the board, and that's pretty much the gold lead in favor of Win as they take down the top lane inhibitor. It'll be down for the next 4.5 minutes. Still, though, here for Win, I feel like there's a timer when it comes to this game. Okay. They have an advantage. They can look for that big team fight.
But Vladimir
But how long until someone actually picks up, like, an Executioner's?
No, but Vladimir.
But
I
Shadow
don't think you
just carries?
understand. Shadow has 14,000 gold. Okay? He's Vladimir with 5 items.
Okay.
One of which is a Spellbinder.
Okay.
He's level 6.
All right.
He has Sanguine Pool and a Zhonya's and an extra stopwatch.
Why does he have... Oh, jeez. He hasn't used a stopwatch yet.
Okay?
I
So I see your point that there might be some sort of timer for, 500 CS Silver win condition comes on. But Vladimir, okay? I don't see how Mega realistically stopped this besides Pop punting the bloody Vladimir out of the team fight before it starts.
All right.
Or Duel and G4 have to have some godlike positioning where Shadow is forced to burn his ultimate first, and then as soon as the ultimate's popped, they're in position to fight, which is not going to happen. The man's a monster! Okay?
Technicality, he's a vampire.
It's also a monster. Categorically, monster.
All right. You've made your point, Fish.
Vladimir!
All right. When here, going to rotate down toward the bot lane.
I have still trolling, by the way.
Here we go. Push is here. You see, Shadow chunks the tower because of how much AP he has, and he's thinking about going. Ends up using that quick AoE. Turret's going to go down. G4 with the soldiers trying to clear out the wave, but another inhibitor falls here in Mega's base in their first game of the summer split. Now only down to their mid lane towers remaining.
Now you see, I'll use my same analogy, okay? Mega have a turret. It's an inhibitor turret, strong. They've got 5 players, but Win have Vladimir. So they just walk up and Vladimir. That's it.
I love how Vladimir is also a verb now.
Yes. What else you want to describe that? It's Vladimir doing Vladimir things. He's got 3 forms of stasis. Can you even use a stopwatch in Zhonya's? Like, does it work that way?
Do you just extend your Zhonya's direction?
Is it not a, what's it called? What's the bloody
Unique?
thing called? Unique passive of the same name where you can't use both.
No.
It's got to be.
No. Well, you can't use both at the same time here, but here comes the engage. True Shot Barrage lands onto Lloyd. Teleport is going to be coming in from the side of Rocky. He joins in onto the fray. Lloyd gets into the back line. Duel is able to find Hedge, and the Ezreal is down. Shadow needs to carry, but he's knocked up, and G4 finds its target. And unfortunately, Fish, prophecies might come true as Mega find the pick.
Do you know why Mega were able to get that? Do you know why, Opal? Because they didn't have Vladimir! Win couldn't get Shadow in position. He's got teleport to try and fight, but he's not able to do it. Now they're going to go for a steal.
Tries to go for it, and it's even the Emperor's Divide over the wall as G4 looks to finish it off. The auto attack not able to finish it off, but now Mega, 2 inhibitors down, find themselves a fight and find themselves the Baron.
Dead even on gold as well. Mega threw everything they could into that team fight to make sure that, 1, Duel and G4 are left untouched during the early initiation. Pop got a full health ultimate off as Alistar in order to disrupt the team fight and make it so that initial spells and attacks were used on him. Then they kept Shadow out of the fight so we could not burst down the key damage dealers from Mega. Constantly using character control before him and making sure that G4 and Duel had enough room to maneuver in case he flash proto-belted forward, and they delayed enough time for him not to be able to get in position to use his crucial spells on those carries.
Is that a Luden's Echo on the Ezreal?
Yes, that is the new build Ezreal, my friend.
Is it?
Welcome to 2019.
Oh boy. All right.
I don't know why.
Just a little extra damage, I guess, on that True Shot Barrage. Oh,
does
buddy.
proc on Q hits, so
True.
It does amplify damage through, the Man Immune, Luden.
So he's just trying to add as many things that he can add to his Q.
Correct. It's like when you played Earth for the first time, the best build was Hybrid Ezreal. It's just slowly becoming prophecy that Hybrid Ezreal is better than AD Ezreal. It is one of the builds. You can go towards this if you want. It is poke heavy, and it allows Kagami to play at a very safe distance because he's not so much relying on auto attacks, he's relying more on his Q. But
oh no, Pop. He gets caught out, uses his ultimate immediately, goes for a possible re-engage. Shadow, though, gets a decent chunk of damage. Still a tanky cow, though, they have to deal with here. G4, decent chunk.
Now they have to wait. They have to wait for Pop's ultimate. He is the tankiest member of the team. Yes, Jarvan's building towards tanky items, but he's not inherently tanky on his own. He is more of a bruiser champion. Camille is not tanky as well. They're really relying on Pop to get in there, disrupt, and try and lock down Shadow. Even if he can't pulverize Headbutt. Even if he can't do, sorry, Headbutt pulverize. He still has the chains, he still has the trample, and he can get that single stun down onto Vladimir, and that's all the time they realistically need to set up to either kill everyone else around him or to take down Vladimir.
Nice pickup also coming in for G4. Now has the Morellos for the healing reduction if he's able to get a little bit of poke onto Shadow early during the fight. Like you mentioned, that's usually a fight that Win shouldn't be taking. It relies heavily on Shadow getting a proper flank.
Which is good, because in this situation, Duel doesn't need armor penetration. It's not a crucial item for him to have. There is bits and pieces here and there, but there's no major tank on the side of Win. He's going to do a lot more if he's able to pick up more crit, which he's doing. He gets another Zeal item, and he already has his more Mortius, which he desperately needs because Vladimir. So in this situation, G4 is not a burst mage. He's a consistent damage dealer mage. Playing Azir, so he's going to be able to get those bleed stacks down on towards Shadow during these team fights with relative consistency. It does mean that Duel can then open up to picking up different items, which is going to help him out in the long run.
See here, Shadow jumps in very close, and he's already down to half health. Now it's starting to feel a bit scary because that playstyle, he needs to position himself on a flank, not be the face tank when it comes to the team.
Which he can find. There is a chance for Shadow to teleport into the backlines and find that big flank. He's actually gone back to base and he's picked up his 6th item. The Mega get a nice 3,000 gold buffer from that last Baron.
Oh, he's going to go possibly toward the Leandri's finish here.
So he didn't actually buy, he just got some health back. G4 and Duel both overtaken him in gold. So that's what you want to see. Winstar 4 players up there after, and Rocky and Lloyd are starving. Rocky, Lloyd, and Pop are basically bots at this point. They just run at you bots. Okay, how long can we keep people off G4 and Duel?
Provide a little bit of CC, maybe lock down one member. Boom, job's done.
Yes.
Second Cloud
They're all
Dragon.
bots. They're all bots right now.
Second Cloud Dragon now secured here by Win. Sit just under 1,500 gold behind Mega, and it looked very promising for this team only a couple minutes ago, but it just takes one quick fight to turn that.
Mega cannot push here. They cannot try and take down an inner turret, because whether they like it or not, there are plenty of flanking wards for Shadow to reposition to try and get a big flank. And if he gets a big flank, Vladimir. Not good.
When with this, lots of pings coming out. They find themselves maybe a bit of a quick one. Look at this. True Shot Barrage is actually going to interrupt G4's back, so now it's an inherent advantage to Win if they were to take us to fight. But man, that wave clear from the Sivir.
Yeah, look, Duel's got a rapid fire cannon static shift Infinity Edge. So if anyone steps up when she has the static proc, that's half of Kagame's health gone, and it's going to half crit everyone else on the team. Not good.
I like the awareness, though, coming out from Kagame. Looking for just that opportunity to maybe allow that fight to be ever so in your favor by just using that True Shot Barrage to stop G4's back.
He's so far behind, though.
Yeah.
Oof. Only sitting on a Vamp Scepter and a Stopwatch.
The way this is going, he might get double Flame Horizon.
That's not nice.
That's not pretty. Those are words you'd never want to say. Especially, too, like, you'll take a look at just, it's Sivir doing Sivir things, obviously, but 430 CS at 35 minutes. You're just farming up like a madman. Oh, find themselves a pick here onto Pop. That's going to be the ultimate. And the rest of Win is coming nearby onto the side. Nice knock up, though. And Shadow is able to find a True Shot Barrage. Gets its target, and Pop is going to be taken out here. Mega at a disadvantage for the next 40 seconds.
Great wards being placed down by Win. Able to spot out Pop trying to get a good flanking position. Mega should have realistically tried to sweep their way through that one, missing out on one of the spots by Red Buff, a commonplace to put down wards. And now 20-odd seconds without an Alistar, who also needs to run straight down mid lane and try and get towards this Baron buff. That's the tankiest member on the side of Mega. This could be Win, Force, and Baron.
Oh, there it is. Spell Shield is able to interrupt the flag and drag combo through the back. And look at this. Hedge jumps in, and they separate the fight. Win. They're so low. This is prime target, but here comes Shadow. And he gets put down by the Sivir. A double kill in response. and it might be a little too late. This Sivir is at that unstoppable point if she isn't taken down.
Look at the way Mega played that last fight. They made sure that G4 as well as Duel were in a position where they're comfortable to continue to do back-to-front fighting. Even without Pop, Lloyd and Rocky made sure that Duel and G4 didn't have too much on their play. They took down R-Hedge first, and then when Shadow came in, that's fine. It's just a single Vladimir against them and not a flanking Vladimir.
Teleport coming in here, and that might be it. That's another quick kill. Nautilus going to be taken on down. They have a minion wave. And for Win, they were able to get 2 inhibitors off Mega. It looked promising. It looked damn perfect in some instances. But unfortunately, Mega rise back and they say, welcome to C-Tour, boys, because we're going to go ahead and take ya down here in Game 1. Ordering onto the slaughter.
Fantastic match between Win as well as Mega. Coming back from 2 inhibitors down as well as a 6-item Vladimir. My goodness, Mega had to dig deep to find the way back to that game.
And it's like we said, Sivir got 6 items. You keep the Sivir alive, it'll do the damage necessary. Because you saw at the beginning of that Baron fight, that 1 enhanced auto onto the Nautilus did about 700 damage.
Yeah, and it was just well played. Mega identified at that point in time, Shadow was too difficult to deal with. He got a very good flank in the first fight that showed how painful he was and found a few more on towards him, even pushing down inhibitors because no one can get anywhere close towards him. But then Mega realized if we can keep him off our carries, if our carries can stay alive long enough to just get a few attacks down, because they are consistent damage dealers in both Azir as well as Sivir, they're going to be able to take those fights, and they successfully disrupted the way that Win wanted to take those fights.
Well, we should go ahead and take a look at some of these highlights from our first game. Again, very close to start things off here in our second set here, Fish. So we'll take a look. This is, of course, going in toward one of our final ones here. I believe this was the first Baron that actually didn't go in their favor.
Just saying a look, see, there's Pop. See, disrupts the Vladimir first. He's got his ultimate on, disrupts the Vladimir again. And he's still sticking around. Ignites the Vladimir on top of that. So Shadow's just sitting here the entire time, can't do anything. Rocky's going to backlines. Look at Lloyd as well. He's just like Cataclysm onto Vladimir. He's not going anywhere. So that's 4 abilities being used to keep Shadow at bay. And now G4 and Duel say, now we come in. You've done your job. You've kept Shadow off us the entire time. And they stacked those crowd control abilities perfectly, making it so that there was no realistic way for him to jump on top of the carries. Very well played. Great coordination coming out from Mega.
And you can see your gold graph up and down on both half,
Yeah.
but that damage!
It's Azir, Sivir, and 3 bots. That was that game.
The Jarvan did 4,000. Did listen to the Nautilus? Oh, boy.
But you know what? That Cataclysm on the team fight.
Yeah. All it takes is one good ultimate, apparently. And good team coordination, too, there. And, of course, our MVP, we're going to give it on over to Duel there with the 5, 2, and 6.
If I could give an MVP, I'm giving it to the bots.
The bots.
I think if we can just have 3 of them and call them the bot squad, they get MVP off the back of that. Because they were the reason why G4 and Duel could deal damage. But, I mean, when you win your lane so hard, and then you are the late game carries. Well, Duel had a good game at the very end.
Like I mentioned near the end there, he was looking at double flame horizoning his opponent. And it's like an Ezreal too, that maybe once you're out of lane, you should be able to farm up pretty hard. Like it's not near impossible in some regards, but like you mentioned, it just kept accelerating out of control.
Yeah, I think still very good showing coming out from Win. I have to give them some credit. It's not easy to come into the LST. Very new squad, just being put together. 2 imports technically 3, but one of them is from Thailand, so it doesn't break the import rule. New squad coming in, taking down giants like Resurgence during the qualifiers. In your first games against Mega, and you have that strong of a showing, and they still have a series on their hand. Like, it's not done yet.
And for Mega 2, you maybe have to look at this and you're like, okay, this might be a bit of a wake-up call here. And maybe for Rocky in the top lane, like, he did pretty well early in the very, very early levels. But, you know, sometimes his health would just disappear at other points.
I mean, I would just want to see them go back to the way they did draft and fix a few things there.
We'll have to see here. We, of course, do have ourselves another 2 games, possibly, of this matchup, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back after a short break.